Okay, so now you're not going to accept some behavior. You have a teen that's in your mentoring program. You have about 20 teens in this program, and you notice that this one particular teen decides to use profanity or bad language around the other kids during sessions, during activities. I've personally had this happen. And so you're going, well, this is a disruption to the group. This is non-acceptable behavior, and I'm going to not only address it, but extinguish it. Okay, here's the deal. You can't control everything your teen does, but you certainly can accept or not accept what your teen does. And there's consequences to the not accepting it for your teen. So in this scenario, you have a teen that decides that he or she is going to start using profanity and start doing things around the rest of the group. And the truth is, this will, not can, will influence the other children in the group, the other teenagers in the group. So you have to extinguish this behavior right away. Have an adult conversation. Learn how to have adult conversations with teenagers. They're not kids anymore. We often look at teenagers because they're not adults and we start treating them like they're still 10 years old, still 5 years old. That's not the case. Even though they're not adults, they're trying to be adults. They're closer to adulthood than they are to that little baby that we were rocking in the crib, or to the little kid that we got out of mom's house because he was being abused by mom and dad, if you're a social worker or run a mentoring program. So that's the first thing I would say, is you have to learn how to speak with them as young adults, right? Young adults. And you address the behavior head on. Look, this is not acceptable. I don't want you to be cursing or using profanity or doing whatever it is that you don't want, whatever the behavior is that you don't want. I don't want you doing this. Here's why I don't want you doing this. And it's not going to be accepted. There's no kind of blurred line in between, right? If you're not clear as to whether or not you're going to accept the behavior or not accept the behavior, you have to be clear with yourself first. Because when you address it, you're going to define the line between this behavior and acceptable behavior. And you're going to say, this is non-acceptable and we're not going to allow it. And then you have to offer consequence. So I'm not going to have this behavior in this environment. And if you decide that you're going to continue this behavior, you're going to be ... And you have to be able to back that up. You can take away, look, you can't control. Here's where people go wrong. Mentors go wrong. Social workers go wrong. Parents go wrong. You don't want to try to control the behavior. You want to say it's not acceptable and this is the consequence for it. And that's it. But make sure that the consequence is thought through and you can apply it. Hey, look, if you do this, we're going to remove you from the program. You're not going to be able to come back for a week, and that's it. I've done this plenty of times. I had a mentoring program for at-risk youth. We would bring kids from juvenile detention, foster homes, and group homes into my martial arts school. We would have a martial arts lesson, a session where we're doing stuff. And then we would have time to play a game or to be mentored. And maybe I'll have a lecture for the day. And I've had kids decide, well, we're gonna start doing this. We're gonna pick on the kids that aren't so tough. And I go, look, I'm not going to let you do this. This behavior is not acceptable. Here's why. It's not nice, it's not right to pick on people. You don't need to be a bully or show that you're tougher than someone in this environment. We're all the same, we're all equal. And if you do this again, I'm not going to let you come for a week. Don't offer the next consequence, because what you're saying is, well, when you say, and if you do it again, I'm not going to let you come for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No, you've defined this is acceptable or non-acceptable. Non-acceptable, consequence. Consequence, boom. We don't want to keep going with that. We don't want to keep offering results or consequences. We want to say, but we know that you're not going to even bother getting to this point, so let's not do it. I hope that makes sense.